A Burke County woman in jail tonight charged with involuntary manslaughter.
It is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm into an argument. It is reckless to engage in an argument where there's pushing and shoving going on.
This is the story of Telvin Osborne, also known as Telbo Rackens, a 30-year-old devoted father whose life came to a tragic and controversial end. In the early hours of February 23, 2025, an argument between Telvin and his girlfriend, Hannah Cobb, turned deadly. A single gunshot shattered the silence of their Georgia home, leaving Telbo fatally wounded. As the investigation unfolded and the truth behind the shooting emerged, old social media posts resurfaced, revealing Telbo's disdain for black women, sparking intense debate over his death. Was it truly an accident, as Hannah claimed? Or was there something more sinister at play? As the investigation unfolds, questions linger, and the internet is divided. Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Midville, Georgia, a small town nestled in Burke County. Known for its quiet streets and close-knit community, Midville embodies the essence of rural Georgia, where everyone knows each other. Despite its modest size, the town carries a deep history, rich with Southern traditions and a strong sense of family. It's the kind of place where neighbors look out for one another, and the local diner is always buzzing with familiar faces. However, like many small towns, Midville is not without its struggles, as economic hardships and generational ties often shape the lives of those who call it home. Telvin Telbo Rackens Osborne was born on December 16, 1994, in Midville, Georgia, to Shirley Ann Rackens. His father, Larry Donald Osborne, passed away before he could fully know him, leaving his mother to raise him in a household filled with siblings. Family was everything to Telvin. He was one of 14 children, growing up surrounded by 9 sisters and 5 brothers, along with additional bonus siblings who became just as close as blood. This large family structure created a strong foundation for him, shaping his protective and loyal nature. Telvin was the proud father of 4 children. He loved his kids deeply, and those who knew him best said that being a father was one of the greatest joys of his life. He worked as an ironworker apprentice, a demanding and physically exhausting trade that required strength, resilience, and dedication. It was a job that suited him. He wasn't afraid of hard work and took pride in providing for his children. Described by those close to him as charismatic and fiercely loyal, Telvin had a strong presence that could light up a room. He was outspoken and passionate, often standing firm in his beliefs, even when they were controversial. He was known for his humor and confidence, traits that made him popular among friends. However, beneath his tough exterior was a man who deeply valued relationships, whether with his family, his children, or the woman he loved. Telvin's love life was complicated, but one thing remained true: he was fiercely dedicated to his partner, Hannah Cobb. Their relationship was a defining part of his life, one that he spoke about with deep devotion. The two lived together and had 2 children, seemingly bound by a deep connection despite the struggles they faced. Telvin was fiercely devoted to Hannah, often expressing his loyalty to her in dramatic ways. In a 2021 Facebook post, he even declared, "I'll kill for her, I'll kill 'bout her, and I ain't scared to say I'll die 'bout her." And no one knew or could have imagined that his words could become a haunting reality, burdening only their lives with a tragedy that would forever change the course of their family's history. The tragedy began in the early hours of February 23, 2025, when Burke County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call at the couple's home on 4 Points Road near Waynesboro. Hannah Cobb, the 25-year-old mother of 2 of Telvin's children, dialed 911 in a panic, claiming she had accidentally shot her boyfriend while handling her firearm. When deputies arrived around 5:45 a.m., they found Telvin suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Initially, Hannah stuck to her story, insisting the shooting was a tragic accident. She claimed she and Telvin had been drinking heavily after a night out, and that while she was cleaning her firearm, it discharged. However, as investigators dug deeper, inconsistencies in her account emerged. Sheriff Alfonso Williams later stated that the situation was not a simple accident, but a reckless act that led to Telvin's death. With that, Hannah was charged with involuntary manslaughter, simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct.
A Burke County woman in jail tonight charged with involuntary manslaughter. It happened Sunday on 4 Points Road in Waynesboro. Investigators say Hannah Cobb had some sort of altercation with Telvin Osborne when a gun went off and Osborne got shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The sheriff, Alfonso Williams, says they're still getting search warrants, but he says this shooting was not accidental and Cobb could face more charges.
The offenses committed leading up to the discharge of the firearm included simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct. It is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm into an argument. It is reckless to engage in an argument where there's pushing and shoving going on. And those are the predicate charges for the charge of involuntary manslaughter.
Hannah Cobb there remains in the Burke County Jail.
The news of the killing spread rapidly, and almost immediately, it took on a racial tone. Telvin was a black man, and Hannah was a white woman. Many were quick to draw parallels between this case and other high-profile instances of interracial relationships that ended in tragedy. However, what set this case apart was Telvin's own history of inflammatory remarks about black women. Social media was soon flooded with resurfaced posts from Telvin, in which he openly disparaged black women while expressing an extreme preference for white women. One of his most infamous posts allegedly read that he preferred sleeping with a dog rather than a black woman. He also allegedly said the dog must be white. These statements ignited a firestorm online. While some mourned his passing as a tragic loss, others were much less sympathetic. Many black women in particular expressed indifference, arguing that Telvin had made his stance on them clear in life, and they saw no reason to rally around him in death. The phrase "black women stay out of this" trended on Twitter, with many refusing to engage in protests or fundraisers in his honor. His own family, however, was quick to reject any claims that he deserved his fate. His brother, Roderick Rocco Williams, took to Facebook, expressing suspicion over Hannah's version of events. He stated, "It sounds like a racist move. Anyone out there knows that something doesn't sound right about that." But even within his family, the reactions were mixed. Some relatives launched a GoFundMe campaign for funeral costs, while others, including Rocco, went on social media to lash out at black women, accusing them of celebrating Telvin's death rather than supporting his family. The response was brutal. Many black women pointed out the irony that a man who had spent years tearing them down was now relying on them in death. As the case moved forward, concerns were raised about whether Hannah would receive a fair trial. Her father, a local law enforcement officer, led some to believe that she might get off with minimal consequences. Skeptics pointed to past cases where white women had killed black men and faced little to no jail time. Sheriff Williams attempted to quell these concerns, insisting that his department would handle the case with transparency. He said, "We're professionals, and this investigation will be thorough. The evidence will speak for itself." However, public confidence remained low. Some believed Hannah's charges should have been more severe, arguing that involuntary manslaughter downplayed the seriousness of the crime. Others felt that the case was tainted by Telvin's social media history, making it unlikely that his death would spark the same level of outrage as other interracial violence cases. As news outlets continued covering the story, additional footage and interviews surfaced. A neighbor, who had seen Telvin and Hannah together on multiple occasions, described their relationship as passionate but volatile. The neighbor said, "They loved each other, but they fought a lot. It was always something, arguing, breaking up, making up. I never thought it would come to this, though." Friends of Telvin, however, painted a different picture. Many described him as deeply committed to Hannah, recalling a 2021 Facebook post in which he demonstrated the depth of his devotion by declaring that he would go to extreme lengths for her, stating, "I'll kill for her, I'll kill about her, and I ain't scared to say I'll die about her." This post highlighted his willingness to make ultimate sacrifices for her, showcasing the intensity of his feelings. That post, once seen as a testament to his devotion, now read like a tragic premonition. At present, Hannah remains in custody at Burke County Jail as she awaits trial. Prosecutors are still deciding how to proceed, and the case remains open. The racial and social media debate surrounding the incident show no signs of dying down. Meanwhile, the children Telvin and Hannah shared are left without their father, caught in the crossfire of a case that has ignited deep divides. The fate of those children, much like the outcome of Hannah's trial, remains uncertain. One thing is clear, the conversation surrounding Telbo Rakin's death is about far more than just a tragic shooting. It has exposed deep wounds in the black community regarding race, relationships, and self-hatred. And as the legal battle unfolds, the debate rages on, one tweet, one news segment, and one courtroom hearing at a time. What happened to Telvin "Telbo" Rackens Osborne was a tragic and preventable loss. No argument, no moment of intoxication, and no reckless handling of a firearm should have led to his death. This situation highlights the dangers of mixing firearms with heightened emotions and alcohol, a combination that has repeatedly led to devastating consequences. Proper gun safety, conflict resolution, and responsible decision-making could have prevented this tragedy from ever occurring. Regardless of personal opinions about his past statements, Osborne was a father, a friend, and a member of his community whose life was cut short too soon. My condolences to his friends and family. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.